Kayode Akindele, partner at 46 Parallels, joins me now to discuss market sentiment. Thank you so much, Kayode, for your time. Now, obviously, the biggest story is still tapering, but you don't seem to be very much excited about that. You believe that it's going to have little effect on equities trading. There are bigger issues for us to actually concentrate on here.
Yeah, I think the main thing driving the local equity market are local issues, in a sense. I mean, there are worries about bank earnings, especially with the liquidity squeeze in the market, the MPC coming up next week, and various other news media about certain companies that have caused fluctuations in the market. I think tapering, a lot of the foreign investors in the equities market are more medium to long term. I think tapering might affect the foreign investors in the Nigerian bond market there.
But because we're staying with the equities market, some might argue that, okay, yes, the impact may not be significant, but at least there's still major players in the Nigerian equities market, and perhaps now they might relax now that they know that there's no tapering, at least not anytime soon. They can now relax and perhaps look to more sectors or to help balance their portfolios, as it were.
Yeah, the problem is that there are no real new listings in the Nigerian Stock Exchange for them. If you look at Nigerian listings in the Nigerian Stock Exchange in the last 3 years, since the 2008 crash, there's been very few new listings. So for them to try and balance their portfolio, there's very little opportunity for them to do so. So I think for a lot of investors, they picked certain stocks. They're going to keep with those stocks in the medium to long term. You see a lot of the outflow affecting the Naira, mainly on dividends, and people trying to getting their dividends and changing it into dollars and taking it out of the country. But generally, I don't see a significant impact on tapering in the Nigerian equity market.
Do you think the Nigerian equities market, do you think investors are getting too paranoid about the outcome of the MPC meeting next week, or earnings outlook for banks? Because that seems to be all we talk about these days. There's this wait and see attitude in the market. Trades are, volumes are very depressed. There's so much uncertainty, and it looks like the market is just looking for direction.
The banks are such a big part of the market that anything that happens with the banks affects the market a lot. And with the liquidity squeeze and various worries about bank earnings, it is to be expected that it have a jittery effect on the market. And now I think for most investors, the smart thing to do is to try and pick out the banks you think have better liquidity and will be net placers rather than takers of funds, and then target those banks because they're probably going to hold up better than the other banks. Now,
I've also heard analysts say, look, the banks in Nigeria, they're quite creative. They definitely come up with ways to boost their balance sheets, even though there's tighter liquidity, even though the CBN has quarantined 50% of their public sector funds. Do you share that sentiment too?
I think there's big opportunities. If you look at the power sector, we've gone through the acquisition phase. The next phase is the capex. All the consultants that bought over the power assets, they have capex plans for the next 5 years, which they have to implement as part of their acquisition. And it's estimated that between up towards $10 billion is required over that period. And a lot of that's going to come from Nigerian banks. So there are opportunities for them to use their balance sheet. But I think in the whole, it's just near term, with elections coming up in 2015, election spending, liquidity squeeze in the market, AMCON taking out its costs, which everyone should have been prepared for anyway, because AMCON will be announcing that we're going to do it anyway. And I think that's had more effect on the market.
Now, some also say that there's some good in this CBN's tightening business, quarantine, taking up 50% of the bank's public sector funds, putting it in its coffers. Because up until now, the banks have really not been doing real banking, to just get off with getting those very juicy treasury bill rates, and all of that. But they're saying that now the banks will be forced to look inwards to look at their strengths individually at a tier 1 or tier 2, and then look at ways, like you just said, perhaps sectors that could help them boost their balance sheets. Do you think we're going to see that now going forward?
If CBN keeps up this policy, then they'll be forced to. We have to remember that there's going to be a new CBN governor next year. And so there might be a policy change in that. But if the CBN continues this policy forward, they will have to do that, because the easy money of basically taking government deposits, then borrowing it back to the government, if this continues, that's going to end. And so they have to look for other ways of, as you said, and look at specific sectors and maybe look at the real economy properly. Now, not all banks will be able to do that. And there are questions whether Nigeria needs 23, 24 banks, whether all the banks have the right strategy for that. And I think if this policy by CBN continues through, then you're going to see the banks' proper strategies for actually investing in the real economy and doing proper banking coming to the fore.
You're talking about proper banking. Many of these companies listed on the exchange, the big ones from the consumer space, the industrial goods space, they also do business with these banks. And now we're looking at possibly a much higher interest rate environment. We don't know how long that's going to continue. I mean, elections are 2 years away, but then we're already seeing the effect, now. So there are concerns about how these companies are going to cope with higher interest, incomes and all of that. Do you think the fears are obviously they're legitimate, but to what extent should we be worried?
I think it will affect the investment profile of a lot of companies if the high interest rate environment continues. It wouldn't make sense. A lot of them will pare back their investment profiles. new investments that we're going to put in might not be affordable anymore in the sense of the high interest rate environment. And many of them will start looking for foreign sources of capital if they can get it cheaper.
For those who can?
For those who can. If they get it cheaper, you might see a lot more private equity funds and stuff coming in and taking place of banks and some funding of some of these companies.
So could that affect fundamentals of some of these companies? And of course, dividend outlook, which investors are very much concerned about. Could we be looking at a review of dividends of these companies?
I don't think so at the moment. I mean, a lot of these companies have been operating in Nigeria for a long while. And if you look at the cycle of high interest rates, it's nothing new in terms of, they tend to be able to ride the cycle as long as it's a short-term period. If it's a prolonged period of low interest over a 2 or 3 year period, then there could be serious issues. But as long as it's just normally over a 3 to 6 month period, there's a spike in interest rates and it comes back down. For a lot of the companies, they can ride it. A lot of the companies have become more sophisticated. A lot of them have fixed rates rather than floating. And so there'll be less, they'll have a less of an impact on their bottom line.
And with all the headwinds the market has been experiencing, do you remain bullish on this market, perhaps for the medium to long term?
Yes. Oh. I think the Nigerian market, if you look at the trajectory of the Nigerian market, the reforms in power sector, agricultural sector, Nigerian sector is on its way up and the reforms can continue. I mean, the big question mark are elections in 2015 and potential cabinet changes. We could change but apart from that, I think the trajectory is upwards.
All right, thank you so much, Kayode. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for your thoughts. Kayode Akindele, partner at 46 Parallels, talking us through market trade ahead of the opening bell and, of course, all the issues that the market is having to contend with. But that's where we'll leave it on Open Exchange for today. After the